final example here, we're going to use completing the square to identify whether the expanded form given to us is a circle or an ellipse. So let's start with letter A here. Letter A is what we're going to do is we're going to group all our x's first. So x squared minus 4x. And then we're going to group our y's. So y squared minus 6y. And then I'm going to move this positive 4 to the other side. So negative 4. Now for completing the square, what we do is we take the middle term and divide it by 2 and then square it. So that creates a perfect square trinomial. So what I want to do is I want to write it with my blanks here, because we're going to do for both x and y. Now if I add in two numbers on the left side, we have to add in those same numbers on the right side to make sure our equation stays balanced. So let's take this negative 4, we're going to divide it by 2 and then square it. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, squared will give me positive 4. We're going to take this negative 6 divided by 2 and square it. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. Now we're going to factor. So when I factor a perfect square trinomial, we take the square root of the first term, the sign in the middle, and the square root of the last term. We do the same over here for y. Square root of the first term, the sign in the middle, and the square root of 9. Now we add up these. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0, plus 9 will leave us with 9. So we can see that this equation here is a circle. It has a center at 2, 3, and a radius of 3. Now let's take a look at B. For letter B, we're going to kind of start the same way. We're going to group our x's and our y's. So 4x squared minus 40x plus 9y squared plus 36y. And we're going to move this 100 to the other side. So negative 100. Now before I complete the square, notice how in this first one there was no term in front of my x squared. And now I have a term in front here and here. So what we need to do is factor that out. So if I factor out a 4 from here, we'll be left with x squared minus 40 divided by 4 will give me 10x, and then we're going to put our plus blank for completing the square. Plus, we'll do the same thing for 9 in this side. We're going to pull out a 9 or divide it by 9, which will leave me with a y squared plus 36 divided by 9 will give me a 4y, and then we're going to put our plus blank. Now be careful, because yes, we add our two blanks at the end here, but we have to remember to put this 4 back and put this 9 back, because when I multiply it out, it distributes. So this is going to be 4 times whatever is in my blank, and this is going to be 9 times whatever is in my blank. Now let's complete the square. The middle term divided by 2 squared. This gives us 25. Do it again here. Middle term divided by 2 squared. That gives us 4. Now that we have it completed, we can go ahead and factor it. I have a 4 as a coefficient. X squared, the square root of x squared is x. Got a little lag there, sorry. X. The sign in the middle is a minus, and the square root of 25 is 5. Plus, bring down our 9. The square root of y squared is y. The sign in the middle is a plus, and the square root of 4 is 2. Now if I add these up, 4 times 25 is 100, so these two cancel, and I'm left with 9 times 4, which is 36. You can also just type this straight into your calculator and it'll give you the answer. Now this almost looks like the equation of a circle, except see how there's these coefficients in the front and they're different? Because these coefficients are not the same, this is not a circle. What we need to do is we're going to use the format for an ellipse, which says it needs to equal to 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide everything by 36, which is similar to dividing by 9 and then dividing by 4. We're going to end up with the same result. So if I just divide everything by 36, I can reduce this very nicely. 4 over 36 reduces to a 9 in the denominator. 9 over 36 reduces to a 4 in the denominator. And 36 divided by 36 is 1. This is an equation of an ellipse. It has a center at 5, -2. A squared is 9, and B squared is 4.